Hello everyone, welcome back to another anime review. I don't know why the hell I did this with my hands, but whatever. So we are reviewing an anime called Beast Tamers. Now Beast Tamers is a really interesting anime, so to speak. So our main protagonist can control animals, so to speak. And he's not no ordinary beast tamer because he can control multiple beasts at the same time. Normal beast tamers can't do that. So he can do 100 birds if he wants to, do this, that, and the other thing. And he can also summon. He can also make contracts with monsters that are high entities. Which we'll get to that. So he's teamed up with a bunch of heroes, and the heroes treat him like shit. Like, seriously, they tell him to get better or stuff up and this, that, and the other thing. That's gonna bite them to haunt them because they decide to get rid of him, thinking that any beast tamer will be fine. However, they are having trouble trying to get another beast tamer because they're jackasses and they're trying to defeat the demon lord, and they don't know how to be nice to other people. However, the Beast Tamer is nice to people because of the fact that he does not want to see his town get destroyed by the demons, because his parents died and his whole entire village got burned into flames because he was, and the only reason why he survived is because of the fact that he, how do I say that, he was training in the forest right next to it, and then he saw the smoke and flames. So yeah. Now, when it comes to the cast of characters that he claims, the first character is a cat spirit, and the cat spirit's hungry, and he thinks that she's gonna die. By the way, he decides to join the Hunters Guild after he gets kicked out of the freaking heroes team because they're jackasses. He decides to start a Hunters Guild, and he's doing a Hunter's trial to make sure he gets his Hunters Guild. He has to slay 10 goblins and also find herbs. Finding the herbs is really easy for him because of the fact that he can just make temporary contracts with a bunch of fucking bunnies and make the bunnies do all the fucking heavy lifting. It's fucking ridiculous. This guy's fucking lazy by making the animals fucking do it. It's fucking hilarious. However, the very first very first godlike creature that he sees is a cat spirit. And the cat spirit is really interesting because he finds her needing help because she's hungry and she's about to get beaten by a tiger, sort of. I'm going to call it a tiger. And he tries to stab it, doesn't do anything, and he just wants to save her. Problem is that the tiger sees him when he stabs him with the dagger. Dagger breaks, and he thinks that he can make her get away while he gets eaten. However, she decides to do it her way by drop kicking the fuck out of the fucking tiger and killing the fucking thing like it was nothing. I thought that was fucking hilarious. So then he decides to make a contract with her, and when he does that, he's the only person that can do that because no other beast tamer can do that, which I think is fucking hilarious. Okay, that's rule A. Then they both join the Hunters Guild. They're all hunky and dory. And then we have ourselves the dragon of the group. Yes, we have a dragon. The dragon, that they do a quest because someone's like won't let people cross the bridge. And it's the dragon. The dragon won't let anyone cross the bridge unless they beat them. That's pretty much, so to speak. That's how it is. Okay, so they decide to team up with the dragon, and the dragon says, fuck you. And they beat them by using paralyzed birds, because there are birds in this world, because it's magical, and the birds can, use paralyzed. If the birds bite you, you're paralyzed, which I think is pretty fucking dope, but it depends on what bird it is. So that's the main gist of that. Now the main thing about the dragon, she's a powerhouse, and he decides to make a contract with her as well. Which is already fucking, this guy's OP as fuck, and the heroes are just being stupid idiots because they decide to pick a fight with them, and they all lose by the three protagonists at this point. That's the first half of the anime, pretty much. You got your dragon, you got the dragon, and you got a cat spirit who want to fuck the Beast Tamer because they fall in love with him because he's too nice for his own good. He likes to help people out, and that's what he does. Because his past, his whole village got destroyed, and because of demons, the demons destroyed everyone and killed his family, and he was the only one left because of the fact that he was, was training how to be a beast tamer out in the forest when the attack happened. So he got lucky. That was the first half of the anime, and that's where you're going to learn about a thing or two. Now, the second half of the anime has 3 new characters that come into play. Our first main characters are the fairies. Now, the fairies are really OP as fuck, so to speak. How do I put this? The fairies don't like talking to humans. They think that humans destroy them, and they don't like any humans. But the Beast Tamer tames them as well, and he gets both attributes, different attributes from both fairies, which I want to explain something to him. Explain something to you about the power of the Beast Tamer. If he tames a fairy like an elf or a cat spirit, that strength that they have, he gets. So he can use fucking fire magic like a fucking dragon. And then it's like, what the fuck is this guy on? Drugs? He's like a cheat code for nothing. Like he can use strength because the cat spirit can punch ferociously. He has a lot of strength. Also the fact that he knows how to freaking beat up people. And it's just baffling to me and how he is really OP as fuck. So the 2 fairies give him 2 different things. One is resistance to status effects, which comes into play at the very end of the season, where someone casts instant death on him, and it doesn't do anything because he has resistance to that. And I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to kill this guy? Like, seriously. And they do, and the fairy that knows about it does a test on him by making him get gassed up with poison, and it doesn't affect him. This guy's like the fucking cheat code of all cheat codes. Like, if he can tame a beast that has fucking status effects, no status effects are gonna help him. Even instant death, which is fucking ridiculous. Now, before that happens, they decide the only reason why the fairies join him is because he's trying to help out the heroes after he kicks the shit out of them. He helps them anyway to find the shield because he knows that the hero can save the world from the demon lord. That's what they're doing. Which, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if the newer seasons he tames the fucking demon lord at some point too, because I feel like that's what's gonna fucking happen at this point. But however, let's get to the point where the fairies decide to go down the rabbit hole, and they do a lot of good shit. Like, they help the people out, but they also have to hide it. They have to hide it to people in the beginning because they don't trust humans because of what they did happened in the past, and that's perfectly fine. Her sister got captured by the demon lord, and the team saves her because of the fact that that's the only person that she is close to, and the fact that her fairy friends decided to shaft her. So that's the main gist of things. Okay, so they come into play, and then this King Emperor is a jackass who is corrupted as fuck, and they decide to destroy him by beating the crap out of him because he wants the elves as his new servants. And the Beast Tamer says, fuck you, and decides to kick his ass, even though he doesn't die from him. He dies from something else because he's a dumbass. But, however, that's what happens. So, I'm not going to spoil what happens to him. I know I just spoiled him that he's going to die, but I'm not going to tell you how he dies. He doesn't die from the Beast Tamer. He dies from something else. But I'm not going to spoil that. Okay. Now then, when it comes to the other 2 characters that actually matter, well, the last character doesn't really matter, but I'll get to that when we get to that. Now our 4th character, which is the Fox God, comes in at episode 10, which she comes in really late because there's only 13 episodes, so she's only there for 13, and she's only in a snippet. You know, the problem with her is that she has a slave collar on her, which is kind of fucked up because the owner of the Fox God is the fucking king the prince of the king, and he can get away with it because he has the knights under his belt because he bribes them all with fucking money, which is fucking ridiculous. So that's the main gist of that character, and he beats the crap out of this fox spirit until the Beast Tamer decides to get rid of the collar, and now she's free. And she also helps him with the last fight. I'm not going to spoil that. You guys got to watch it yourself. Now, when it comes to the fifth character that actually really matters, she doesn't come in until episode 10, episode 13. And she's she's a maid, but the problem is though is that she's a ghost. So, yeah. That whole episode is just her trying to spook the crap out of them, and the cat spirit does not like her, but that's beside the point. So, and also the fact that the town people folks are now hating the heroes team because because they didn't help them out during the demon thing, and they're pissed off at them because they didn't lift a finger to help this village people from this evil fucking douchebag. Because to be honest with you, that's what happens. They don't like him, and he decides to do that. So that's the main gist of the anime. Now, my main problem with this anime is the fact that the Beast Tamer is pretty much has a fox, a cat, two fairies, a dragon, and a ghost that want to fuck him. Which I don't know what the fuck I just watched, because I can guarantee you that the ghost is gonna fuck him. On the top of that, he knows how to fucking control insects. Like seriously, like if he sees a bee coming at him, he can make a contract with the bee, and the bee will just land on him and not sting him, and he can move around like a jackass, saying, "Look at my bee, yeah." And if he hates you, he can just summon the bee. He can just make the bee go after you. Now, the bees are a lot more interesting in this anime aspect because of the fact that the bees come into play multiple times during this anime. Because they can sting you multiple times like a hornet. However, when they sting you, you are paralyzed. You're not being poisoned or have to get medication. You're just paralyzed. You can't fucking move. Which I think is really fucking interesting on how to do the beast things. Because this is magical. This ain't isekai. It's magic. So the Beast Tamer is kind of OP as fuck. Because not only that he can tame insects, he can also tame beasts and also ghosts, apparently. Because that's what happens in the end of the last episode, because the ghost decides to wreak havoc on it. Now, when it comes to the comedy, it's pretty fucking funny. To be honest with you, I was laughing the whole entire time. However, there are some moments where it's serious, and how the tragic backstory of all these characters come into play, mainly the main character, the fairies, and also the fox girl. Those are the three most tragic stories of what's going on in this world, and it's really interesting on how the hell they interact with each other when they first meet each other. Now, I did not cry a bit, but I did get a little bit sad towards them, because the only three animes that have made me cry is Tokyo Magnitude, Kalad, and fucking Canon. Those are the only three animes that have actually made me cry. This anime did not do that, but it does set up the music when it comes to that, because when the music hits, you know it's serious because they intensify the music, which I think is really a spot on. So I'm gonna give this anime an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really good. It was funny, and all the characters bounce off on each other multiple times. My apologies, excuse me, I burped. My apologies, sorry. But anyway, all the characters bounce off on each other, which is really good. And it's a really refreshing to me because of the fact that most characters that love the same character, they always fight. However, this anime does it differently. Like the fox spirit and the dragon both love the freaking main character, the Beast Tamer. And I thought that they're gonna fight and argue with each other, but they do not, and that's really refreshing because I've seen multiple animes that do, like, both girls hate each other, so they decide to try to win his affection. No, they're more civilized, and they love him. They both love him the same way, and they also treat each other with kindness and respect. And that's what I like about this anime, is the fact that even though all these characters love the Beast Tamer, they try to share them equally towards with each other, and I think that's really wholesome to meets the eye. I've noticed that when it comes to most animes where the main protagonists have two girls fall in love with them, that they both fight for him, and it's been done to death. So this is kind of like a refreshing idea. So that's what I liked about it. But that's it. If it gets another season, I will definitely watch it and give a follow up. But I'm giving this anime an 8 out of 10. What are you guys' thoughts on Beast Tamer? Would you watch it? It's in sub and dub, so apparently there's a lot of dub thing. There's one scene where the girls are swimming in the lake naked, and he decides to look at them because he heard screaming, even though it was because the cat's tail got chomped on by a fish. So, and then they get really embarrassed, but then they realize that it wasn't his fault. It's like that moment where they are all reasonable, and that's what I like about this, because it makes you think that if this was real, it will be an awesome sight to see where everyone gets along and they always try to do for the greater good. So I'm giving this anime an 8 out of 10. It's a really good anime. If you guys want to watch it, I highly recommend you watch it. And I hope you guys have a nice, positive day. And take care. This is probably one of my longest anime reviews because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to say about it.